What's going on, good people? It's Iceberg here. I've been out in the garden doing a little bit of pruning, and I wanted to give y'all a quick look at some of the seeds that we planted, the ones that I showed you yesterday morning that I said I'd come back and show you when it's light outside. We got some light, so I'll go ahead and give you a look and see, so you can see how far they've come along in these couple of weeks since I planted the seeds. Let's go take a look. So as you can see, we have some pretty good sprouts in our bed now from pretty much every one of our rows. Starting over here on the left, this is our green romaine lettuce. It's down in there. As they get taller, I'll get this back up level, get the mulch back up level. Sorry, trying to fight off mosquitoes. Like I said, as they get taller, I'll get the mulch back up level. But they needed to be basically right on top of the soil in order for them to get germination. So that's why you see that little ditch there. As we're coming across, this is our broccoli down that row. So you see our germination is a little sporadic on some of them, a little bit better on some seeds than others, but it's okay because some of these would have needed to be thinned out anyways. This is our red Russian kale. We're definitely going to have to thin this row out. We got very good germination, as you can see. All the way down that row, we got good germination on that kale. Same on the radishes, but we probably will not have to thin these out because they actually have very close spacing because these are small radishes. They're cherry radishes, so they don't take up much space down in the soil. So probably shouldn't have to do very much thinning of those. And then over here, our dinosaur kale. Not as much germination as I would have liked, but I'm going to see what happens with these because these also would have needed to be spaced out. So I'm going to see what happens. I got, I think, 4 to 5 sprouting. So if these stay good, then it'll probably be good in spacing as well. But there you go, quick look. These are seeds that I sowed a few weeks ago. You had to go back in the videos and look and see, but it's named like planting seeds on a Sunday, something like that. A few weeks ago, planted these, and this is what we have. These are some of our winter leafy green vegetables that we plan on having, and then the radishes, you know, the broccoli. So kale, broccoli, 2 different types of kale, and the romaine lettuce. That's what we have over here. Some of our early starts for the fall. You got to get a start on your stuff early. It's August, so August, September time frame, that's when you want to be getting a start on some of your seeding for your winter vegetables. You got to get started now. You got to take some action, make something move. It's extremely important that you take action right now. Right now is the time. Like I said, it's August, it's early August. August, September is the time that you want to do a lot of the planting for a lot of your winter vegetables. So now's the time to get them in the ground. You got to take the action now. If you wait till later, it's going to be too late. You need the stuff to be starting to grow now so it's mature when the winter time comes, and you know you're able to eat it at that time, because these food shortages are coming. You don't have to believe me, but you'll believe me whenever you see it. But I wish you would just take my advice. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not the only person saying this. I'm not alone in this. And what I'm suggesting you do is actually a benefit to you, whether or there's a food shortage or not. Having a garden is a benefit to you and your family. How is it not? Tell me how it's not. I'll wait. Everybody needs to have their own garden. Every family needs to have their gardens. You need to be growing your own food. You need to know where your food is coming from. You need to know that the food is healthy, that it's been grown in a healthy way, not filled with a bunch of pesticides and chemicals. You need to know that your soil has been good soil, that the food hasn't been aged in any kind of weird processes to make it look like it's normal, but it's actually a not fully ripened piece of food. Like a lot of the food that y'all get in your grocery stores, that stuff is not ripened like it's supposed to be. You know, most of your things, they're going to go ahead and ripen on the vine, you know, that they're growing on. Those things, they take them off of the vine way early and they ripen them in other methods as they're shipping them to you, because they know they need to get on trucks and they're going to be sitting in boxes and stuff like that for a period of time before you actually grab it off the shelf and go eat it. So they take them off before they're ripened, and then they do processes to them to make them preserve and to give them the appearance that they're ripe by the time you are actually eating it. That's why I said you got to get your organic stuff. Your organic stuff is going to go bad quickly. Why? Because real food doesn't last that long. It goes bad pretty fast because that's just naturally the way things do. It starts to break down. As soon as you take it off of its growing source, it starts to break down. So that's what's happening. You know, things decompose and stuff over time. But the food shortage is coming. I need you to hear this. You need to hear it from me. You need to hear it from whoever. The shortages are coming. Who are you taking your advice from? Who are you listening to? And are the sources you listening to giving you advice that's for the benefit of you, or is it for the benefit of them? That's something that you need to be able to answer for yourself for all of the sources that you're taking advice from. Is that advice they're giving you for the benefit of you or for the benefit of them? So, for example, if you're a person, and you take this stuff however you want to. Please, if you feel any kind of way about it, get in the comments, reach out to me. If we need to get on StreamYard, I can set it up, we can chop it up, or we need to do it, you know, whatever method. If you feel hit by any of these stones and you want to talk about it, feel free to reach out to me. I'm available. You can reach me. There's plenty of ways you can reach me. But when I say about your sources that you're getting your information from, I mean all of the sources. So if you're a person who goes and say, whether it's in the morning or in the evening, you turn on the local news, right? What is that local news telling you about most of the time? The weatherman's going to just say whatever. They're not right most of the time, as you can tell. I mean, I told you what the weather forecast is for this part of the country, you know, where I am in the triad of North Carolina. Every day we're going to be anywhere between low of upper 60s, and then a high, you know, it can be anywhere between 80 and 100, right? But we're going to have high humidity, so it's going to make it feel about 5 to 10 degrees hotter if you're outside and actually doing work and stuff every day. And then we have a chance of afternoon thunderstorms. That's the forecast every day. That's pretty much what it's going to be. No matter what the weather person tells you, they'll tell you that there's no chance of rain today, and then a thunderstorm will pop up, and then all of a sudden it become 100% chance of rain when it was a 0% chance earlier in the day, you know. So that's what they're going to tell you. The rest of the news stories, you know, you may hear a little bit about some local sports. All right, fine, but you can probably find that stuff a whole lot faster just on the internet, through an app, whatever. And then the rest of it's going to be telling you about all the bad stuff that happened in your area, whether it's people dying, robberies, car crashes, all types of stuff like that. Just a bunch of negative stuff to just pull you down. That's all it's doing, is pulling you down emotionally, especially when you do not know 99.9% of the people that are being talked about. But because humans have that, you know, emotional empathy or whatever, and you're empathizing with whether it's the person or the family members or whatever, it's dragging you down that emotional pit, watching and listening to that. So that's one source that you may be getting your information from, that's not actually giving you information that's telling you or giving you any ideas of how to make anything better or fix anything or, you know, grow a situation. No, they're just telling you all the bad things. They're telling you all the issues, and you can pick out your own issues. You don't need to listen to the media to find out what your issues are. So for example, if you listen to Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, any of those sources, it's pretty much going to be a lot of the same thing, except for they're going to add in a whole lot of political rhetoric, because they're on separate sides of the aisle. So they're going to say the stuff, they're going to tell you about terrible things that are happening, probably that have zero impact on you directly. You know, they may indirectly in some ways that you can't control have impact on you, but directly certain things don't have a whole lot of impact on you, but they spend all day on those types of stations talking about those things. They don't give you a whole lot of information of what you can do about any of those things. So for example, if they talk about a food shortage of any type, let's say the baby formula shortage that they talked about for a few weeks, right? So they talked about it, but they never actually told you what you could do to basically either fix that issue to get it where you don't need baby formula in your life anymore, so you don't deal with the shortages of baby formula. They never discover or actually dive into any of that stuff. So again, they're putting all the issues in front of your face. Breaking news, big red banners. But then whenever it's time to actually talk about how to make this not an issue anymore, there's no discussion. Everything dissipates. That's what they do with all of the issues. They're filling your brain with all of these distractions, not actually giving you any information on how to make things better for yourself, for your family, for your neighbors, or for just society as a whole. That's not what they're giving any time or focus to. It's all on breaking news, something bad has happened, or, you know, let's fearmonger over here and say that, oh, the Democrats are all bad. They're doing this. They're trying to, you know, the Democrats are trying to raise your taxes. And over here, Democrats are trying to take your guns. And then over here, it's the Republicans are trying to, what? I don't know. What do Democrats say? Trump. That's what it is now. Trump this, Trump that. That's all the Democrats are saying about the Republicans. This person is associated with Trump. This person is not associated with Trump. That's all they're talking about. And you tell me how much either of those issues has to do with you actually building, growing, or overcoming any of the obstacles that you are dealing with right now. Whether you're dealing with a food issue, a baby formula issue, financial issues because of inflation, you don't have a job that pays well enough, you got student loans, any of the things that they talked about and they should be actually discussing, they're not discussing. They're just talking about all these other issues that they like to call hot button issues. They'll keep abortion in the news because abortion's been in the news my entire lifetime, just about, I believe. They've been talking about that issue, especially when it comes time to do election cycle. They start talking about abortion, gun rights, all of those issues that people like to get all in their feelings about, but they really don't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of your everyday life. How many of you are going to have to deal with anything dealing with an abortion? Like, if you're listening to me and you are of a certain age, you may be past that period of time of dealing with an abortion. You may, you know, whatever the case may be. But is the abortion issue really directly affecting you? You know what I'm saying? But you'll get very emotional about it. You'll make a vote based on that issue, and that issue doesn't even apply to you. But they keep it in your radar. They keep it, you know, red lights flashing at you, keeping those issues because it's a distraction. It's all about the distractions. All of these things that are distractions. Every time a new thing comes up, you should ask yourself, does this apply to me and my family? Does this impact me and my family? I'm not talking about your neighbor. I'm not talking about you having empathy for your friend. Does it impact you and your family? Right? If it does or does not, that should determine how involved you are in that issue, how much time and effort and emotion you're putting into that issue. I'm not saying you can't support people who are for whatever side of that issue. What I'm saying is your vote, you get one, and your vote and everything that you're thinking about going into that should be based on how that stuff impacts you and your family, not your neighbor and your neighbor's family. They get their own vote. You vote on the stuff based on you and your family. That's why I continue to say just about every person that's an incumbent right now needs to go, because they haven't been working on the issues that impact you. They haven't been passing anything that impacts you. They've been talking about a lot of distractions. They've been doing a lot of distracting you. But what have they really been getting done? What's been going on behind the scenes? Do you know? Probably not, because you've been focused on the distractions. Maybe you are a part of the distractions. That's what we have to evaluate. We have to learn and figure out how to take care of ourselves and not be concerned with the government and what they have going on. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to tax us. They're going to raise our taxes. They're going to play with gas prices. They're going to fearmonger saying that there's a shortage of this, a shortage of that, but we're doing everything we can about it. They're going to do all of those same things they've been doing all of our life. Why does anybody think that's going to change? We have to start taking care of ourselves. We have to depend on ourselves. That's the way we're going to all succeed. The more time we spend arguing about what the government has going on, because they're continuing to pit us against each other. This ain't a white or black issue. This ain't a Democrat or Republican issue. I mean, claiming any of those titles is just dumb anyways. We're all people. The color of your skin and the color of my skin is different. Guess what? Whenever we go out in the sun, the color of both our skin changes. So why does the color of my skin or your skin have anything to do with anything? If we both stand in the sun and your skin is has less melanin in it than mine, you may get a little tan, you may turn red. It just depends. I get darker. Different things happen to different people, but our skin changes colors based on our atmosphere, you know, where we are. So why does the color of our skin ever been an issue between one person and another? Claiming Democrat and Republican, I think the party system, that's another distraction. It's just to get you to argue with the other person, because you're saying I'm team A and they're team B. So it's to get you to fight against each other because of what? You don't even know what they're doing. Once they get in there, they don't do anything for you. If we all were honest with each other, we were all probably closer to the center. We would get rid of both of the parties, because the parties are the fringes. The parties are the edges. And we keep on allowing the edges. We keep voting them in and letting them make all of the decisions, when most of us are all right here together in the middle. That's where the majority of us are. There's only like, what, 1 or 2% of the people that are that really high wealth area. All the rest of us are down here in the ball together. Whether you are poverty line, which I don't even know what that number is right now, but it's whatever it is way too damn low to be the United States of America. The poverty line should probably be somewhere around $50,000 or something like that. I don't know what it is, but anywhere from the poverty line all the way up to wherever that level is, that's that top like 2%, we're all in this together. We're all either that middle class, upper middle class, lower class, whatever you want to call it. Classes is just another way to separate us. We're all together. We're all people. We're all living this together. And if we all just had the mindset of taking care of one another, then we would all be okay. For example, okay, we have a military. There's a reason for the military. I understand that. I'm a veteran. So whenever we send these people off to serve the country in whatever capacity it is, whether they go off to war, whether they stay stateside their entire career, whatever capacity it is, these people volunteer to serve to ensure the freedoms of all of us. Once these people finish their service time, whatever the commitment is that they signed up for, whether they go into retirement, whether they do 3 years and get out 4 years, whatever the case may be, these people are not taken care of. There's less than, I think, the number is really small. I want to say less than 3% of the population, the living population, has served in the military. You're telling me there's not enough money in the government to fully take care of all of the people who have served in the military? You can't take care of them in any way? You just get out of the military and, yeah, you get called a veteran, and people say thank you for your service a couple times a year, stuff like that, but there's no way for the military to take care of these people who have volunteered and have served in a way. They got honorably discharged. Military should be taking care of these people. Why do we still have to worry about health care? Why do we still have to worry about poverty? You have so many homeless veterans, so many veterans with mental health issues. That's the major issue. Everybody, it should just be automatic. Whenever you exit the military, you should automatically exit with some percentage of disability for mental health, and they should provide the mental health counseling and all of that stuff for you, or you should be able to seek outside counseling at a reasonable rate that the government pays for. That should just be number one. Hell, getting through basic training is a mental health strain in itself. Some people, they really break down in basic training. Other people, it builds you up. But getting through that is a mental health thing, because it's a shock to some people who are coming from certain environments, and then they snap into these people yelling at them. They're directing them all kinds of ways. They're confusing the hell out of them. They're calling them all kinds of names that's not their name. Some of these people, it's a culture shock. So that in itself is a mental health condition, but it's not a thing that is diagnosed. It's, whenever we get out, we're just kind of sent on our way. Certain people get it, if they've had a really traumatic experience, or something like that, then yeah, those people kind of get some automatic things. But the rest of us, we just kind of get sent on our way to live life. And then we have to later on fight with them to prove that they are our time and service is the reason for some of our ailments that we deal with, jumping out of planes, rappelling from helicopters, things like that, working around loud jets, all the time, and loud generators and that type of stuff. That stuff's going to cause some issues with me, you would think, you would think. But anyways, we have to not rely on the government. We have to rely on ourselves, because they've proven to us that they're not going to just take care of us. Even though we give them so much money in taxes and all of that, they're not here to take care of us. They're here to take care of themselves. So we have to take control of who we're putting in those positions. And then once we put them in those positions, we have to demand accountability from them, or they're going to be right back up out of those positions. We don't even need to allow senators to get their 6 years. If they get in there and after 2 years they're messing up, we need to go ahead and do the referendums or whatever we need to do to vote them out and put somebody else in new. It doesn't take that long for y'all to get y'all heads out of y'all butts and come together and get some things done for the good of all of the American people. I don't care what your fringe issues are. You leave that crap to the side and you get some things done for the people. Who are you taking your advice from, people? You gonna keep listening to these politicians who are obviously lying to you because things aren't getting better for you? Why would you continue listening to them? Why would you continue listening to the media sources that the politicians are feeding the information to? Who are you taking your information from? Listen to me. I'm not telling you anything that wouldn't be helpful for you. Whether the food shortage comes or not, plant a garden. Know where your food is coming from. Stop eating everything. Some of this stuff that is being fed to you was the scraps. They gave it to the slaves as scraps. I understand that's your heritage, all that good stuff. That don't mean it's good for you. There's a lot of things in your heritage that aren't good for you. You want white people in America to basically accept their heritage of slavery and, their side of slavery and stuff like that, right? Then you need to understand that this part of it was that too. So why are you continuing to make that a great thing? Eating chitlins and shit like that. What is wrong with y'all? Y'all embracing your slave ass stuff too. That don't make any sense, good people. Think about the decisions you're making. Think about the stuff you're putting in your body. A lot of y'all, I ain't getting into no religion here, but a lot of y'all read the Bible and other books, and I think most of them say something to the effect of your body is your temple, right? Or are you taking care of your temple? Your temple should be your number one. Your body, that temple, should be above the church. For you, that should be your number one temple in your life, is your body. But you giving all your money and all your faith and all of that to the church, to another person who is telling you stuff that they're reading out of a book, and then they're making their own determination and interpretation of those words. You have all of that stuff inside of you already. You read those words yourself, make your own determination and interpretation of it, and then you take care of your temple. Your temple is your body. The things that you're putting in it should matter to you. It should be of the utmost importance to you, because if you don't have your body, then you're no longer here. What good are you? That should be the number one temple you're taking care of, is your own body, above your children, above your spouse, above your pastor and your church, above all of that, above your job. Your body is your number one priority in this life, because you only get one, and once it's gone, it's no good to anybody else. That's your number one temple. What are you putting in it? What's coming out of it? When you go to the bathroom, you need to know what it looks like. It should look and smell a certain way. You should be going regularly. People out there, if y'all got problems, y'all not going to the bathroom at least daily, you need to drink more water first. And if that don't help, you need to eat some more leafy greens and stuff, but you need to be going to the bathroom. And it needs to look and smell a certain way. That's just real life. What are you doing with your temple? Are you taking care of it? I know I'm going a little long, but I had a lot on my mind. I've been driving a lot the last couple days, going to some appointments, taking care of my temple. So I had a lot to think about, and now I'm trying to get it out to y'all. It's Iceberg Thoughts, and I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube, you know, hearing a lot of people talk about a lot of things, and of course it gives me the opportunity to now talk about it on my channel. But like I said, if anybody ever wants to talk to me, you can reach me. All my information is in the description, and I have StreamYard if I need it. So if I need to start up a panel or whatever, I can do that. It's always available. You want to talk about gardening stuff, you want to talk about anything else I'm talking about, we can do that. I ain't gonna talk about no other people. I'll talk about you, me and you, because I don't know anybody else on YouTube. I don't know anybody. Just because y'all see me modding in some chats and stuff like that, I don't know anybody on all that else that's on YouTube. Not one of them. Salute to every one of them, though. Salute to Sister T. Salute to ears to the street. Salute to Doe Eyes. Salute to all of them. Salute to the political kryptonite. Salute to all of them. Salute to everybody making that good content. Salute to Kwame Brown Bust Life. Salute to Queen Regina. Everybody that's making content that's trying to steer the people in the right direction, trying to avoid nonsense, trying to avoid those distractions. Salute to Yo Thoughts. Ooh, Sister Yo Thoughts, she always coming with that good information. Sister Yo, I gain so much wisdom from listening to Yo Thoughts. That's a knowledgeable sister right there. I appreciate her videos. I appreciate her knowledge. She's enlightened me on so many things with gardening. So y'all make sure y'all check her out. Subscribe to her channel. But all right, I'm gonna get up out of here. I just had to get that stuff out. Like I said, if anybody feels any kind of way about it, feels hit by it or anything like that, holla at me. I wanna become interactive with y'all. I want to keep it positive. I want to keep it on positive subjects, you know, but I want to be interactive with y'all. I want to talk to y'all. Like I said, I don't mind doing live streams. I'd like to do some more live streams. I used to do live streams. I'd like to do some more. So y'all want to chop it up on that, just let me know, and we can do that. Till next time, good people, this Iceberg. Salute.